Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. So, we started a discussion on Shodasha Samskāras, and before entering into that subject, it is essential to have a knowledge about Vedic Karmas. And we have seen there are 4 Vaidika Karmas. They are Nitya, Naimitika, Kamya and Prayaschitta. Nitya comes first. Nitya Karmas are those karmas which we have to perform daily. We must do. There is no escape from doing. Such karmas are called Nitya Karmas. And in Nitya Karmas, when we look into the Vedas, Agnihotra comes first. Agnihotra is the Nitya Karma according to Veda. But we have to remember, even though the very base of Sanatana Dharma is Veda, Sanatana Dharma is not resting on simple Veda only. Along with Veda, we have to consider Smritis. And even in Smritis, Itihasas are there, Puranas are there, Dharma Shastras are there, and other Vaidika Shastras are there. And when we take into account all these Shastras, we have to add Pancha Mahayajna into the Nitya Karmas. That is, along with the Agnihotras, so many other karmas also are enjoined by our Acharyas, our Shastras. And in our last session, we were discussing these Pancha Mahayajnas. And briefly, we have seen Brahma Yajna, Deva Yajna, Pitri Yajna, and Nri Yajna or Manusha Yajna. Then, in the Panchamahayajnas, there is Bhuta Yajna. That also is a part of a Panchamahayajna. Bhuta Yajna is serving those beings around us. See, we cannot live in this world without the help or without the company of other beings. Nobody is living alone. We are giving and taking. Always this sharing is happening. Always. Even small plants, which we cannot see even, they are protecting us. With the help of those plants, we are living in this world. And this giving and taking, it happens always. So, in our life, in our daily life, we have to consider all the beings around us, especially around our home. Plants and other birds, animals, all beings. In whatever way we can help them, we have to. Serving them in whatever ways we can. That makes Bhuta Yajna. See, nowadays we are discussing about the ecosystem, about the dangers that are happening in the ecosystem, how to protect our ecosystem, all these topics we are discussing. And in many big platforms, we are conducting lectures, seminars, symposia and all. But see, the greatness of our Acharya's vision. In our daily life, they asked us to protect the ecosystem around us. It is our duty. It is our duty to protect the ecosystem around us. And for that, Bhuta Yajna is one yajna which is coming under Panchama. The essential practices we have to do. See the greatness of that. Feeding animals, feeding birds, and nurturing plants around us. So all these are part of Bhuta Yajna. So when we discuss these 5 yajnas, we will understand the holistic vision or the all-encompassing vision which our rishis gave us. So we have to understand this. We have to understand the greatness of this vision. And in our daily practice, we have to take care. And these yajnas, these great yajnas, 5 great yajnas, without fail, we have to perform. And the main thing we have to again and again keep in mind is when older generations shows this, then only younger generation will pick it up. Always we have to remember the great saying of the Bhagavad Gita, Yadyata charati shreshtaha tattadevetaro janaha. Sa yat pramanam kurute lokaha tadanuvartate. What great men are doing, that will naturally be followed by others, common people. How he is doing, or in which way he is doing, that will be taken as the standard activity. It will be taken as a standard or a model by others. And they will emulate that. So in our homes, in our family, what elders are doing, that will be followed by our children and grandchildren. So always keep in mind this fact, that these yajnas, from time immemorial, this came, and generations after generations followed this. And our ancestors gave this to us, this treasure of knowledge, this holistic vision, this harmonious outlook. They gave this to us. It is our duty to share it with the next generation, to pass it over to the next generation. How? Not through teachings, not through lectures, but through our own performance. So diligently do all these yajnas in our life. When we are doing, there is no doubt our next generation will follow. Sometimes in the young age, say when our children are youth, they may not do. They may not follow what we are doing. And sometimes they may criticize what nonsense they are doing. But there is no doubt, if they are seeing in their early childhood, and if they are seeing how faithfully you are doing, that is the main thing, how faithfully you are doing, not showing something. Then, after a certain age, when their emotional level and intellectual level get a balance, then there is no doubt in that they will start doing this. At a certain stage, they may criticize, they may not follow. But after a certain stage in their life, they will, there is no doubt, they will follow this. So it is our duty, it is duty of the elder generation to perform all these yajna, and we must do with proper knowledge. If we are doing without proper knowledge, we will be doing all sorts of nonsense in the name of yajnas. Blindly we will be following many unwanted things. And where there is ignorance, where there is no backing of knowledge, in many ways, exploitations will come. There is no doubt in that. And therefore, all our activities, all our actions, all our rituals, all our sadhanas, all our yajnas must have the backing of knowledge. Always we have to remember the saying of the Bhagavad Gita, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavasthitau Jnatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartumi Harhasi. Tasmad, therefore, te shastram pramanam karya karya vyavastitau. Karya karya vyavastitau. To determine what should I do. That is to know the do's and don'ts in our life. Te shastram pramanam. Shastram is the only valid means. There is no other valid means. Shastram is the only valid means. And jnatva shastra vidhanoktam karma kartum iharhasi. In this world, iha means in this world, in this human life, we have to do, knowing the teachings of our Shastra. What Shastra says. If we are following this teaching of Bhagavad Gita, we will realize that we must know the science or the rational, the logic behind each and every activity. If we are not knowing, we will be exploited. If we are not knowing, we will be doing so many unwanted things in the name of belief, in the name of bhakti, in the name of religion. All sorts of nonsense we will be doing. So we must know what we are doing, how we have to do, why we are doing, the why of things, the how of things, the what of things. Regarding all these factors, we must have clear knowledge, and this we get from Shastra. So, studying Shastra, it is essential. And we will have a bigger logical approach. We will be able to observe things from a higher perspective if we have correct knowledge of our Shastras. This is essential. Before entering into a discussion on Panchamahayajnas, we have seen that there are three foundation stones on which the whole edifice of Sanatana Dharma is staying. That is, the whole edifice of Sanatana Dharma is built on three foundations, and they are Satyam, Dharmam, and Swadhyayam. And while discussing about the Dharma, we have seen there are Nitya Karma, there are Naimittika Karma, there are Kamya Karma, and there are Prayaschitta Karmas. And within the Nitya Karma, Brahma Yajna comes. And what is Brahma Yajna? Brahma Yajna is studying and teaching, Swadhyaya and Pravachana. That is Brahma Yajna. So, within that Dharmam Chara, studying of our Shastra and teaching of our Shastra, that comes. And even after saying that, Upanishad specifically repeats the third pillar or the third foundation on which Sanatana Dharma is resting is Swadhyayanma Pramadaha. Never be lazy. You must do Swadhyaya daily, diligently, with all care, with all attention. You have to do Swadhyaya daily. See the importance of Swadhyaya, importance of scriptural studies. But see the pity of our life. We are saying, I am a Hindu. Why and how I am a Hindu? My parents are Hindus, so I am a Hindu. My parents are Hindus, so I am a Hindu. That is why I am a Hindu. And ask them, what is the very base of Hindu Dharma? What are the basic Shastras of Hindu Dharma? What are the essential practices in Hindu Dharma? Name at least 10 great acharyas of Hindu Dharma. What will be the reply? Nothing but utter ignorance. So we are saying we are Hindus only because our parents are Hindus. But in our society, those who are saying I am an Islam or I am a Christian, they are studying. From early childhood, they are studying. From the age of 3 years, they are going to madrasas, and up to the age of 19 or 20, they are studying there. And Christians also, even though not that much, they are going to churches and Sunday classes. And by the time they approach the age of youth, or when they become adolescent people, they know everything about their dharma, their shastras, their scriptures, their teachers, their rituals, everything. And take the case of Hindus. They know nothing, virtually nothing. So there is an unhealthy imbalance in our society. This must not be there. Because of this unhealthy imbalance, there is a incessant conversion, religious conversions happening. Why religious conversions are happening? Because of the utter ignorance. There is no other reason. And so many other atrocities are being performed against Hinduism. Why? Because of ignorance. So to protect the dharma as a system and protect our own life and our own family, the first essential thing is we must do Swadhyaya. Swadhyaya is the only way to protect our dharma. So that is why the Upanishad, even after instructing us, Swadhyaya ma pramadaha, repeatedly Upanishad says, Swadhyaya pravachanabhyam na pramaditavyam. Never go away from Swadhyaya and pravachana. Swadhyaya pravachane eva tapa tadhitapa. Doing Swadhyaya and pravachana, that is the highest tapas. That is the highest form of austerity. There is no other greater tapas than this. So says the Upanishad. So, realizing the importance of Swadhyaya, knowing the weightage that was given to Swadhyaya by our acharyas, we have to do Swadhyaya daily. And Swadhyaya, when we say Swadhyaya, as a part of it, pravachana also will come. When we speak about pravachana, swadhyaya will come. Because without swadhyaya, you cannot do pravachana. And you are giving or you are sharing that knowledge you have through swadhyaya. So we cannot separate them. We cannot differentiate swadhyaya and the pravachana. Both must go together. So this is the most important thing we have to remember. So do swadhyaya well, do pravachana well, and we have to perform all the Panchamahayajnas daily in our life. Protecting ourselves and protecting our dharma. Through this activity, we can go to the next topic, that is Naimittika karma. Naimittika karma, as those karmas which we have to do when the nimitta comes, incidental. That is, when that nimitta comes, we have to do naimittika karma. We need not do daily. We cannot do daily naimittika karmas. There are many naimittika karmas, many. For example, when we look from the social perspective, there are many naimittika karmas we have to do as a member of the society. For example, in the village we are staying, or in the place we are staying, there will be a main temple. There will be some annual functions. So as a member of that society, we have our responsibility, we have our duty, and that we have to perform. That's a naimittika karma. Or when some contingencies comes, some emergencies happens in our society. As a member of the society, we have to do. We have to do. So such karmas, they are naimittika karmas. That is, when we look from a social perspective. And from the individual point of view, or from the point of view of the family, there are many naimittika karmas, and Shodasha Samskāras are the most important naimittika karmas. Shodasha Samskāras, that is 16 samskaras. 16 samskaras. Then comes a question, what is samskara? Samskara is samskara, we cannot translate into any other language. Many a times we translate samskara as culture. No, culture is different, samskara is different. Samskara is a state of purity, or a state wherein we have removed the impurities. That is samskara. It is not culture. It is not mixing together. It is not culturing. Culturing is different. Culture is different. Samskara is a state of purity. And we can have that through removing the impurities. That is the only way. So, by samskara, making human being more and more pure and thereby uplifted. So Shodasha Samskāras are 16 steps to uplift a human being. We have to realize that. These samskaras are 16 steps to uplift human being by removing the impurities. By removing the impurities, making a human being more and more pure, and thereby uplift him to the sublime state he can reach. That is the purpose of samskaras. And there are many samskaras explained in our shastras, and mainly, or most important samskaras are 16 in number. So first we have to know there is no any shortcut method to uplift a human being. A human being, you cannot uplift all on a sudden. There is no shortcut method. There is no shortcut method. We have to travel or climb step by step. There is no shortcut method. This we have to remember, because nowadays we are in search of shortcut methods. Everywhere, in almost all fields of our life, all walks of our life, in our life, we are in search of shortcut routes, shortcut methods. But to uplift a human being, there is no shortcut method. So step by step, we are trying to make ourselves high. We are trying ourselves to remove the impurities within us. We are trying to uplift ourselves. So for that, these samskaras are advocated in our shastras. And what are these samskaras? As has been said, there are 16 samskaras. The first samskara is garbhadhana. Garbhadhana. Then comes the second, pumsavana. Then the third, simantonayana. Simantonayana is also called simanta samskara. Simply simantam. Then the fourth is jata karma. Then comes namakarana. Then nishkramana. And after nishkramana, annaprasha. And after annaprasha comes kesha samskara. And then upanayana. After Upanayanam, Vedarambham, and after that comes Samavartanam, then Vivaham, and then comes Grihasthashrama Pravesha Samskaram. After Vivaham, Grihasthashrama Pravesha Samskaram, then Vanaprasthashrama Pravesha Samskaram, and then Sannyasa Ashramam, Sannyasa Samskaram, and 16th is Antyeshti Samskara. So these are the Shodasha Samskaras, 16 Samskaras. What are they? What are their importance? What are the logic behind doing all this? How we can do all this? All these things we have to discuss, and we can go to such topics in our next sitting. So we can start Garbhadhana Samskara in our next sitting. But remember, all these samskaras, there the theoretical knowledge, and there are so many things connected, rituals and all. So we will not go to that part. You can learn that ritualistic part from those who are doing or those who are performing this. Only the theoretical part we will discuss. The other part you must learn from those experts in the Karma Kanda. We will just mention, keep in mind this. It is not our subject. We are not experts in that ritualistic part. So you can learn that aspect from those who are doing these samskaras. So the theoretical part we will discuss, and the social importance and the logic behind all this subject we can discuss. Now, if you want to ask any question, you can ask. If I know the reply, I will reply.
Swamiji, the question is from Sumaji. Sumaji, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste, namaste.
Yeah, I just have a clarification regarding the Agnihotra. Is it part of the 5 Mahayajnas, or is it a separate?
See, within these Pancha Mahayajnas comes Daiva Yajna, and Agnihotra is a part of Daiva Yajna. Actually, while elaborating Pancha Mahayajna, Manu in his Smriti writes, Daivo Homo. Let me repeat once more. Daivo Homo. That means Homa is the Daiva Yajna. Homa is the Daiva Yajna. So Homa is Agnihotra. Homa is Agnihotra. Agnihotra is a karma where we are offering Havi in the Agni. Agnau huyate iti Agnihotra. Where that ritual is involved, it is called Agnihotra. So it is same as Homa. Daivo Homo. So we have seen that shloka which Manu has written, but today we can repeat it once more. It is describing what are the Pancha Mahayajnas. That shloka is Adhyapanam Brahma Yajnam, Adhyapanam Brahma Yajnam, Pitru Yajnastu Tarpanam, Pitru Yajnastu Tarpanam, Daivo Homo, Balir Bhauto, Nriyajno Tithi Pujanam. Nriyajno Tithi Pujanam. It means Adhyapanam Brahma Yajnam. Brahma Yajnam is teaching. Pidru Yajnastu Tarpanam. Pidru Yajnam is Tarpanam. That is making our parents happy. That is Pidru Yajnam. Daivo Homo. Daiva Yajnam is Homo. Agnihotra. Balir Bhauto. Bhuta Yajna is Bali. That is offering. Offering food, offering water. Like that. Offering is Bhuta Yajna. Nriyajno Tithi Pujanam. And Manusha Yajna is Atithi Pujanam. That is worshipping those who are coming to our house. These are Pancha Mahayajnas in a nutshell. Namaste.
Swamiji, we have a question on table. Like it comes like a Bhuta Yajnam. As a gifted species or a preferential species with a lot of advantage, human being can modify the environment, involve in the environment. It comes with an ability and advantage. The advantage is always comes with the responsibility. That means the humankind or mankind has a responsibility to maintain the environment, do the Bhuta Yajna in a proper way. Do we have any cited examples in the Puranas or in the stories where the humankind was always leading the way to maintain the environment or do that job in a meticulous manner? Do we have any cited examples we can share with the people?
See, of course, in the evolutionary ladder, human being occupies a highest or high position. There is no doubt in that. And because of his intellectual capacity and connected abilities, he can engage in activities which will improve his lifestyle and which will improve the circumstances in which he is living. This is the advantage. But see, what we call an advantage is an advantage from our point of view, our limited vision. Let me repeat once more. What we call an advantage is, of course, it is an advantage. It is from our viewpoint. And that vision will always be limited. For example, with the help of technology or with the help of technological advancement, we are exploiting our Mother Earth. We are exploiting other beings around us. We are exploiting earth, water, all resources. And we are considering this as advantage. Of course, it is true. But look from another angle. We are depleting the resources around us on one side, and on another side, we are producing children. We are not keeping for them. We are stealing what Mother Nature has kept for them. And the ecosystem, we are disturbing. We are disturbing. With our technological advancement, we are creating so many benefits and at the same time, multiple havocs. So, being equipped with higher intelligence and higher intellectual capabilities, it is our duty. It is our duty to do our best to protect our mother, our environment, our surroundings. And if you go to our Shastras, there are full of such teachings. Full of such teachings. In Puranas and Itihasas, such teachings will be imparted with the help of so many stories. But in other Shastras, direct teachings will be there. There are many such teachings. All those teachings shows our responsibility. For example, one simple example I'm showing. Bhagavan Sri Rama was in the forest, and Bharata decided to go to forest and bring back Sri Rama to Ayodhya. And his plan was to do the coronation ceremonies there in the forest itself and bring back a king, Sri Rama. So when the king is coming back, there must be with him. All the forces must be with him. So Bharata went to forest with all the forces, army with him, not for his sake, but for bringing back Sri Rama, the king. So, while before starting to that forest, in the Valmiki Ramayana, there is detailed descriptions of road making and other amenities setting up and such things. So big roads were made. And as a part of that road making, they are constructing new roads. So as a part of that, so many trees were cut down. And in large scale, deforestation happened. There, while describing this thing, Valmiki Maharshi, in the Valmiki Ramayana, specifically writes, in places where there were no trees, they planted new tree plants. See? Because to make roads, it was essential to cut down many, many trees. So along with that, those who were constructing that road, they planted trees where there were no trees. See, it was not an occasion, free time, there was no free time. They were doing that much urgent work, even while doing such urgent work, they didn't forget to plant new trees. What this shows? And just to see the Bala Leela of Sri Krishna. All those Leelas are giving us a clear message regarding protecting the environment. Take the case of Kaliya Mardana. What Sri Krishna did? It was to protect the river. It was to protect the river and thereby the village and villagers. And what was Govardhana Puja? The message of Govardhana Puja is we must worship the Mother Earth. We must worship the Mother Earth. If we are worshipping the Mother Earth, Mother will protect us. That is the message of Govardhana Dharma. So, you just observe. There are hundreds and thousands of such teachings in our Shastras. And see, as a part of Ayurveda, Vriksha Ayurveda was there. And Vriksha Ayurveda says the greatest wealth we can have in this world is trees. Dashaputra Samudruma. One tree is equivalent to 10 suns. Dashaputra Samudrumaha. Having 10 suns equals one tree. That is the greatness of tree. Many places are there. Many narrations are there. So it is our duty to do for protecting the environment, to protect the ecosystem around us. And that is why even among the Pancha Mahayajnas, essential duties, Bhuta Yajna is there. So teach our children the greatness of Bhuta Yajna. What is meant by that? Its social implications, its ecological implications. All these aspects, teach our children. In a logical language, you teach them. It will work, there is no doubt. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. The next question is from Vijayji. Vijayji, you can unmute yourself and ask.
Namaste.
You need to
I am
unmute.
here in the Gujarat Madhavananda Ashram.
Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I've been waiting for this opportunity because I have a doubt which is not directly related to Panchamahayajna or Shodasha Samskara. The doubt is about the word dharma. A person reading the translation told me that the word dharma does not appear in the Vedas. It appears in the Smriti only, especially in Manusmriti. So what is the position about that? Would Swamiji be kind enough to explain that, please?
The word dharma is explained in Mahabharata, in Ramayana. Ramayana and Mahabharata are itihasas. And while we discuss about the smritis, we have to consider itihasa first. And after itihasa comes these Puranas and other Dharma Shastras. And among those Dharma Shastras comes Manusmriti. So we have to consider Mahabharata and Ramayana before considering Manusmriti. Of course, Manusmriti and Yajnavalkya Smriti, in all these granthas, there are explanations of dharma as they are Dharma Shastras. But we will get more elaboration in Mahabharata and Ramayana. And the Shabda Dharma, of course, in the Veda, I don't remember now. We have to verify. As far as I believe, there will be Dharma Shabda in the Veda itself. There is no doubt in that. But I cannot chant the mantra now. I cannot. But there will be. And see, even though the Shabda, Dharma, is not that much repeated in Veda, of course it will be there. I'm believing there will be mention of Dharma Shabda, but the idea is explained. For example, Surya Chandramasau Dhata Yatha Purvam Akalpayat. Take that mantra. So there it is said, the Dhata, that is the controller of a universal system, he, Dhata Yatha Purvam, as in the Purva Kalpa, Akalpayat, he decided, he established. Whom? Surya Chandramasau. Surya and Chandra. That means there is a system, and that system is repeated in each and every kalpa. So there is a system, and that system is called Dharma. And in the Shukla Yajurveda Samhita, 40th chapter, it is called Ishavasya Upanishad. There we can see the Arthan Vyadadhad Shashwadibhya Samabhya. Arthan Vyadadhad Shashwadibhya Samabhya. That is Vyadadhad, means distributed and held together. So we can translate. What? Arthan. Everything. Shashwadibhya Samabhya. That is everlasting. Shashwadibhya Samabhya Sambalsarebhya. That means the meaning of this mantra is the controller of the whole system. It divided each and every things according to, or positioned each and every things according to time and space. So that division, that positioning, that is called Dharma. Because the Shabda Dharma comes from the root Dhr Dharane. When it is suffixed with Man, the root Dhr, when suffixed with Man, will make the Shabda Dharma. So it is the order, it is the scheme. And the Veda, even the Samhita portion of the Veda, there are so many stutis, so many praises, praising the Adhidevatas of the system. The first stuti of the Rigveda is in favor of Agni. And then Varuna, then Vayu, then Aditya, like that. So many devatas are being praised. So explanation of the Dharma system is there in the Vedas. And of course, the Shabda Dharma also is there in the Vedas, but I cannot quote that mantra now. There is no doubt. The Shabda Dharma comes in the Veda, but the explanations are there in Itihasas and of course in Puranas. So even before Manusmriti or even before Yajnavalkya Smriti, they are Dharma Shastras. Before considering Dharma Shastras, we have to consider Itihasas. Yeah. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji. The next question is from Babuji. Babuji, you can unmute.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste. Namaste.
Swamiji, you just explained about this Panchamaha Yajna. I'm just going through the commentary which I've been studying in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 25. Devame Vapare Yajnam Yoginaha Paryupasate. There, the commentary talks about 12 yajnas, and also in verse 28, it talks about Dravya Yajna, Tavo Yajna, Yoga Yajna, and Swadhyaya Jnana Yajna. So what you explained in this Mahayajna, does that actually overlap with these, or can you just clarify that, please?
See, in that part of Bhagavad Gita teaching, Bhagavan is describing so many yajnas. So many yajnas. When we speak about Panchamahayajna, it never means there are 5 yajnas only. There are hundreds and thousands of yajnas, where a feeling of offering is there within. It is a yajna. Where a feeling of offering is there within, it is a yajna. So there are hundreds or thousands of yajnas. And to show the greatness of Jnana Yajna, that is knowledge, Bhagavan is they're enumerating so many yajnas. Deivameva pare yajnam yogina paryupasate. From that, beginning from that, so many yajnas are enumerated there, even though not explained. And all those yajnas were detailed there, enumerated there, to show the greatness of Jnana Yajna. To show that Sarvam Karmaghilam Partha Jnane Parisamapyate. To show that all these yajnas will have an end in the Jnana Yajna. And how you can do that? That you get from teachers. Tadvidhi, you know that. From teachers, great teachers. So to show the greatness of Jnana Yajna, so many yajnas, Dravya Yajnas, that is where the involvement of Dravya is there. Daiva Yajna, where we are offering different types of ahutis in the fire, keeping in mind different devatas. That is Daiva Yajna. And there is Swadhyaya Yajna. There is Pranayama Yajna. There is Indriya Samyama Yajna. So many yajnas are there. It never, when we discuss about Panchamahayajna, never think these are the only yajnas. Panchamahayajnas are the basic yajnas which a householder must do as his daily routine. Panchamahayajnas comes as a daily routine. Without fail, we have to do. We must do. And there are many more yajnas. See, take the case of Kamya yajnas. Those yagas which we are performing to get some rewards hereafter. With the involvement of so many articles, so many mantras, so many this and that, we can do such yagas. So they also are yajnas. So many yajnas are there. In the Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, all these yajnas are enumerated just to show or just to take you to the greatness of Jnana Yajna. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitramiha vidyate. There is nothing in this world purifying as jnana. To show that, many yajnas are enumerated. Namaste.
Namaste, Swamiji. So the question answer you just told, that nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitramiha vidyate, does it mean that it's always a conflict with people think the bhakti is the most important? In sometimes it was quoted that way, and sometimes you say jnana. Is it contradictory or is it complementing each other?
See, to teach a student the greatness of the path of bhakti, or to teach a student about the greatness of the path of knowledge, or to teach a student about the greatness of the path of karma, karma yoga, we will divide them into many, like karma yoga, bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, and all this. Actually, these are only some classifications for the study purpose. When you go to the heart, there is no difference at all. If there is no jnana, bhakti will become a bundle of superstitions. If there is no bhakti, no karma yoga will be there. If there is no karma yoga, bhakti will not be there. And jnanam and bhakti, they are not different. And when we take this as roads to the realization, then both are complementary. For example, let us take, to show this, both these are complementary, let us take the mantra from Shvetashvatara Upanishad. Upanishad says, Yasya deve para bhaktihi yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite kathita hyarthaha prakashante mahatmanaha. Meaning is, Yasya deve para bhakti, within whose heart there is a real devotion towards Ishvara. Yatha deve tatha gurau. How the devotion is there within. In the same way, he have to have that devotion towards his guru. One who is having this devotion towards his guru and Ishvara, for him, For him alone, the great knowledge explained here will shine. Tasyaide kathita hyarthaha prakashante. To him alone, the great knowledge which is explained here in this Shastra, in the Upanishad, will shine. So, this knowledge extolled in the Upanishads, that we will get only through bhakti. And what about bhakti? How we will get bhakti? Narada, in his most famous sutra, says, Tasyaha jnanameva sadhanam ityeke. Tasyaha jnanameva sadhanam ityeke. That means, many acharyas are saying, jnanam is the way to get bhakti. Jnanam, knowledge, is the way to get real bhakti. So these are complementary. Through bhakti you will get jnana, and through jnana you will get bhakti, and in the final stage, they are not different. They are not different. Bhaktya tvananyaya shakya ahamevam vidhorjuna jnatum drashtum cha tattvena praveshtum cha parantapa. So says Bhagavad Gita. Hey Arjuna, only through pure bhakti you will reach this realization. You will get this realization. And what is that? That is the ultimate knowledge. So there is no contradiction at all. Then why we are differentiating, why we are categorizing? Only for the sake of study, for that purpose. And when we study, we will realize there is no difference at all. There is no contradiction at all. All these are one and the same. When we are observing from one angle, it will be seen as something, and when we are observing from another angle, the same thing will be seen as something else. When we are having a holistic approach or a vision, then we will realize both bhakti and jnana are one and the same. Let me repeat once more. Without jnana, bhakti will be a bundle of superstitions. And without bhakti, what jnana will be? There is no jnana. So all these are one and the same thing, observed from different angles. Yeah. Namaste.
It's the time to conclude, I believe. So,
Yeah. Now we can conclude today. Today we are having the session from Advaithashramam, Ahmedabad. You are seeing there the statue of Param Pujya Madhavananda Swamiji. He was a great scholar, a great sage, a great sannyasin, who established this ashram in the year 1939. And on the Guru Purnima day of 1948, he attained Mahasamadhi. And from 1948 to 2009, Swamiji, that is Vimalanji Maharaj, Swamiji was running this ashram, and he made all developments in the ashram. Swamiji was the disciple of Madhavanandaji Maharaj. You are seeing there Swamiji's photograph. So, just for your information, I'm saying this. Namaste, we can conclude. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om.